It's the top 10 games you probably already have. Top 17 games on the Switch that you want and still might have already. Top 34 games that the Switch has that is really great and they came out this year. Top 2 of these games are so good you definitely already own them. These top at least 7 or so games are so good and they're on the Switch and they came out in 2017. You also probably have them, but we're going to talk about them here because that's what we do on Top Lists. Yeah. Also, now announcing the JammerProHD Discord server. Link in the description. You can post Jammer memes, talk about videos, and find people to play Switch games with. Yeah! Top 10 video games. Top 10 video games. Hey everybody, I'm Jammer. Welcome back to YouTube's famous, most beloved series, Top 10 of these games are the best. Today we're going to be taking a look and talking about the best games this year in a very particular order. This order is so particular that none of their positions could be remixed. You can't swap one for the other. These are solidified. They are testament. We're going to be talking about some games. Switch games, my favorite games of 2017, starting with number 7.
What is this? Why is this in slow motion? Hold on. Let's go back. Play it through. It's fine. Okay. And slow motion. Why is it? Did I record in slow? Oh my.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now this is when things really ramped up for the Switch in my opinion. The first big multiplayer online game brought a lot of fans into the console, especially because Mario Kart 8 originally came out on Wii U and was a port over the Switch, as pretty much everyone knows here, right? But I really underestimated how many people missed out on this title on the Wii U coming over. My fear in a way was because it was a port, it wouldn't have as strong as its appeal to, a lot of existing fans and players who actually played it on the Wii U, already have it. But it turns out there were a lot of fans of this series that did not own a Wii U, believe it or not. And I'm pretty sure to this day, I think it's actually one of the best, if not the best, Nintendo Switch sold game, to date anyways. Of course, when it was just Zelda, that was number 1. But I think Mario Kart has kept up its sales consistently throughout the rest of this year, which that's awesome. That's a super awesome feat. I personally really enjoyed the game. I was on the fence for a while about getting it, because I'm like, I already exhausted so much time out of Mario Kart 8 in the Wii U. I played the DLC, literally 200 plus hours. You guys ended up convincing me to do it, so we could play on some streams, try out the new battle mode, whatever, and I've had a lot of fun with this since, and I'm super glad I made that purchase. It has been one of my favorite games to go back to be honest. It's probably the game that I've played the most locally with other people who own Switches. For the most part, that has been the multiplayer game that I've had the most in common with. So whenever I meet someone who has a Switch, I'm like, hey, you want to play some Mario Kart? For a port, I think it still did a great job, and it intrigued me a lot. I think I still have I have over 100 some hours, give or take, on the Switch alone, plus the 250 or whatever I had in Wii U. This game had a lot of life in it. I'm, in a way, maybe exhausted out of racing on those tracks, but it's still fun every once in a while to pick up and play with your friends. Now let's move on to number 7. ARMS. The new IP this year showed off in the initial Nintendo Switch trailer back in January, which is crazy to think. It still hasn't even been a year since the Switch has been out. That's super mind-blowing. This game, I had so much fun with it. It came out at a very awkward timing, being the week of E3, because there was a lot of news for other games coming out. Obviously, there was a super buzz around all that. So it kind of just stealthily launched itself the week of E3. But I swear, that month of June, ever since its launch, I was making ARMS content like crazy. I was having so much fun with that. I thought it was such a unique fighting game. It was truly refreshing from the ones I've played in previous years. That's something we cannot discredit ARMS to. It is a very Oh, it's a FedEx. FedEx is knocking on the door right now. ARMS is a super unique fighter, and I really think it was that the global test punch that pushed the momentum into that game, because it really felt like you had the game longer than you did. I think I got nearly 15 hours in the test punch alone, and then once the game came out, my hours had kind of slimmed down because I already got as much as I did just in the test punch alone. I know a lot of people continuously go back to that game, but the thing that kind of fell short to me was its lack of updates. Now, it kind of had the promise of a Splatoon model of DLC where it's going to have free rollouts of characters, stages, modes, whatever, which it has done. It really has. It kind of got cannibalized by the rest of the Switch library. Standing on its own, if it was launched, you know, even last year for the Wii U... Package for you. Thanks. If it was launched even last year for the Wii U, or like in more of a bigger drought area of the Switch, I feel like it could have done even better. I know its sales were pushed, I think it reached over 1 million copies, which is fantastic for a game like this. But I think because of the release date was so close to Splatoon 2, that kind of took the new place of the multiplayer game of choice. At least for me, and I know a lot of players as well. I know ARMS still had great content follow-ups with DLC and updates and characters and stages, a lot less frequent than Splatoon, and I think that might have been to its detriment. Having a stage and character come out only every other month didn't really hold my interest as long as it should have. I still have a lot of friends who go back or are playing that game still constantly to this day. But for me personally, I kind of lost interest. I had so much fun at the beginning, but eventually it kind of got stale and I moved on. But that's kind of the nature of fighting games itself. It's really fun and fresh when it's brand new. And the only thing that continues to drive you and play it more is when you're playing with friends and trying to get better than them. Don't get me wrong, ARMS is still awesome. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Oh, that's what the package was. Snipperclips Plus. Thanks, Nintendo. Speaking of which, number 7! Snipperclips. Dude, I had so much fun with this game. Nick and I had an absolute ball. Just messing around, cutting each other, trying to be cooperative, but not really. It is a very fun game. I'm not just saying this because... sponsored, not a, probably a spot. Oh, it's like a little shiny. Hold on. There you go. Snipperclips Plus. Now available in a case. No, but in all seriousness, I bought it when it first came out as a launch title with the Switch, and Nick and I had a blast with that game. And obviously, when I was showing people the console, that was one of the games that I had with multiplayer that was more casual. Instead of playing like co-op and Shovel Knight, I could show them this game and show them the beauty of the Switch, you know, and play with the little Joy-Cons and stuff. It's a fun game. It's a really it's a very different and kind of experimental puzzle game where you're platforming, cutting each other together. And I'm really excited to try out this Plus stuff because I have not played it yet because I knew this was coming like a month ago. And I'm like, I'm ready, baby. So you can look forward to a video on this very soon, right? Right, Nick? That was, yeah, he said yep. Okay, anyways, moving on.
Number 7.
Shovel Knight Specter of Torment. This game was actually the first game I played on the Switch, believe it or not. Did I play Snipperclips first? No. Because, funny story, Zelda, because I got the Master Edition. Oh, I thought I had it next to me. That took forever to ship. I got the Switch on launch day, but no Zelda. I didn't get it for the whole weekend. It was terrible. It was probably the worst weekend of my entire life. Where am I? But in the meantime, I had Specter of Torment to play. I already had Shovel Knight on the Wii U. I loved it so much. It's easily one of my favorite 2D platformers of all time. And I was happy to get it again here on the Switch, getting the treasure trove. And Specter of Torment truly impressed me. It's minimalistic storytelling to drive a plot forward that's kind of like, it's basic, but at the same time it's really deep. Character development, the art style, the music, dude, the music for months. Even to this day, dude, I still go back to that soundtrack, and I would almost argue it's better than the original. This is definitely a staple of a Switch library. The treasure trove in general, but specifically Specter of Torment, because it left a big impact on me. I freaking love that game, and I cannot wait for the King Knight quest coming up. Okay, number 7. Fire Emblem Warriors. Now, this really went under the radar of a lot of gamers, especially because, again, Mario Odyssey came out the following week, and a lot of people had to make that decision. Fire Emblem or Mario. I was fortunate enough to be able to play both, and Fire Emblem took me by a lot of surprise. Nintendo even themselves didn't really actually show it off as much. They kind of like held back and didn't really They didn't give it as much exposure as they did other games. They kind of only released the few trailers that they did, and then obviously the gameplay that at E3. But because of that, it really did feel like it kind of got swept under the rug, which is unfortunate. Because if you're a fan of Hyrule Warriors, you're gonna love Fire Emblem as well. I really feel like they improved on the formula here with the new weapon triangle mechanics, being able to efficiently and strategically play 3 characters per battlefield, send them to go over here or there while you're taking on one base. It really fit this war art style of Dynasty Warriors really well, even better than I think Hyrule Warriors did. And it's a shame that a lot of players didn't actually get to check it out. It's a game that I do continue to go back to pretty often. It's just kind of like a pick up and play. When I know I have a few minutes here and there, I'll just grab a quick mission in history mode, or I'll play in the story mode and replay one of the matches in a harder difficulty or something like that. Just something, like if I have 15 or so minutes and I can play on the go. Because what's great about it is just to hop in and you can get going. You can make some sort of forward progress in this game in a short play session. Unlike other games on the Switch library, don't really warrant that type of play style. And that's what I really loved about Fire Emblem Warriors. What is number 7? Puyo Tetris! Okay, this is a great story. So Puyo Tetris had a, what's it called? The free demo that came out first on the Japanese eShop, and then eventually once there was a listing on the American one, you could get it from there. Now, they made the mistake of making it an unlimited demo. You could play normal mode, so you could either choose Puyo or Tetris version and play multiplayer against someone, or you could play swap version where it does a little swap. Oh my gosh, I have hiccups. Where it does a little swap panel, so you play like Tetris for a few seconds and it swaps to Puyo, back and forth, 4-player madness in a demo. It's fun, right, to give you a test of the game. But after you beat a match, it's just like, thanks for playing, and it boots you back to the home screen. There's no play count to say, hey, you know, 15 times played and then you're done. That was their mistake, for sure. I'm lucky. This is one of the demos on the Switch that doesn't track your hours when you play it. Not sure why, but I'm glad it does, because I can tell you right now, that would probably have 50 plus hours in that stupid demo. My friends and I have had an absolute blast playing Puyo Tetris in the demo alone. So I felt very obligated to Sega for this game, because I'm like, I've gotten so much enjoyment out of your freaking demo. You guys deserve my money at this point. But I do finally have the full version now. But even the demo alone, I've had so many hours of fun from that game. Just I don't know, it's a pick up and play. Anyone can really play of any skill. I mean, everyone's played Tetris, you know. Puyo's more like an unexplored territory to a lot of more casual gamers, including myself. I never played it till this game. So, like, in the swap mode, like, people can either be good at Tetris or good at Puyo or vice versa. So it's really kind of a level playing field. And it's just like a bunch of fun puzzle madness. And like I said, I've played countless hours of this freaking game in the demo alone. And only barely scratching the surface into the full game. I've had a lot of fun with that title. And it is like, the demo is a must-have for Switch. The full game, I definitely recommend picking that up as well. Okay, enough about that one. Let's move on to number 7. Now, this may be a surprise to a lot of you, considering the content on this channel, but Splatoon 2. That game has a very special place in my heart. Doing like the preview coverage and the review, and then obviously the videos to follow throughout that like month, like it like truly impacted my channel in a very big way. And me as a person, it really opened my eyes to like what goes behind the scenes of stuff and how to produce content better. And I think since then, honestly, my channel's been exponentially growing and improving in video quality, in my opinion. You guys can still think it's terrible since the beginning, that's fine. I've had so much fun with Splatoon 2. Yeah, I had a little bit of an issue with the fact that like there wasn't very much new in the game. It was kind of just some changes to the existing modes to kind of make them better fit and readjusting to the rules. Some adjustments to the new maps. So on a personal level, the only new things for me that really had me hooked by playing on my own was Salmon Run. And for that full month and a half, almost 2 months straight, I was playing nothing but Salmon Run, baby. I still love that mode. But eventually, obviously, I got old of it, and I really haven't played it much on my own time since, in exception to obviously streams with you and videos and whatever. Which, that's fine. There's no doubt this is a definitive version over the original. And I know a lot of you still freaking love that game, and I do my best to provide content on it too. But it has to be up here. It does. It's a great game. I don't even know what else to say. It's great.
Number 7.
Now it's time for the big boys, baby. Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey. One of the most anticipated games of the entire year. And let me tell you what, this game really impacted me in a way that I didn't know what to expect. I did a video talking about recently Breath of the Wild versus Mario Odyssey, where I scalds all my thoughts on both games and putting them up head to head. One of the hardest videos I made, I swear, just trying to decide between these two babies. I've said this literally 1,000 times, but the thing that impressed me most about Mario Odyssey is how the intentional design for two demographics of gamers. More casual and younger gamers, as well as more mature gamers. Offering a simple tool set of moves, but also being able to chain those together to make complex movement. A lot of the platforming puzzles and stuff were easily solved either through, capture abilities, whatever, but upon experimentation, you can kind of like hack your way through stuff just by jumping around and doing little hat jumps and stuff like that. It's impressive. It's a major feat in the game, and I seriously love that game. I will admit, I did get a little turn off once the post-game came around because it got a little bit repetitive on collecting those later moons, just because at that point you've been just doing the same grind for so long. That's no fault to the game its own. It's still a fantastic experience all the way through. But I will admit, I have not 100%ed the game yet, but I definitely plan to go back to it, It's just, there's a lot to play right now. The Switch, it's a great, there's just so much. There's already, from this list alone, right? Okay, now next is a big one. This is a big one.
Number 7.
I actually have to put Xenoblade Chronicles 2 here. This game has been impressing me again and again. I haven't played many JRPGs. Really, the game that introduced me into the genre itself was Xenoblade Chronicles X. And it blew my mind on how much I actually ended up loving it. I knew it was a great game from what I've heard from hearsay, and I really enjoyed it a lot. So going into 2, my expectations were kind of neutral. I knew it was good. I heard hearsay and stuff like that, but I was relatively blind to pretty much everything. All I knew was a kind of vague idea of what the blade mechanics were, and oh, characters. I didn't even know the story wrapper, now that I think about it. And I have to say, I have been hooked on this game. Absolutely hooked. I've had the DLC for Zelda, since it came out, obviously. I've played maybe an hour of the DLC for Zelda, and I am super hyped for that DLC. But that's the thing about Xenoblade. Xenoblade, don't buy it. It just, you will suck, your life will be sucked away. You will love it too much. I seriously can't put it down. After a long day of editing, or working, or being out, I'll come sit down like, you know what? I'm gonna play some Zelda. I'm about to do it, I click on it, a few seconds go by, I'm like, yeah, I could be playing Xenoblade. You know what I think it is? I think it's the characters. It's definitely some of the best writing for characters I've seen in a long while. They are written so well to make you love them. So, each one has their own unique personalities. Everyone says this about every single freaking story-based game. But I really found myself emotionally attached to a lot of these characters and how they are written. And that's what really drives the game forward. There's compelling gameplay with the combat, as well as supplemented with, really deep, engaging cutscenes. It feels like you're half watching an anime and, half playing a video game sometimes. And I swear I've been very tempted to just, sacrifice my mortal body to join the anime world forever. That's the thing you can get from this game. I swear, it's really good. If you have any inkling of some sort of interest in this game, I highly recommend checking it out. You won't be disappointed. I can almost promise that. Guaranteed. Guaranteed promise that, actually. Okay, this is the big one, guys. The one you've all been waiting for this whole video. The main one, the top of the pyramid. Number 7. This game's pretty obvious. I've already mentioned it a few times in this video already, but Breath of the Wild. To me, that game redefined the open world genre. It took such a big risk by changing the Zelda formula, a much beloved 3D Zelda formula. Many of those games have got nearly perfect scores, or at least up there in the charts anyways. Taking an entirely remixed formula to this series was a big risk, but I think it definitely paid off. It honestly has paved the way for a brand new future of open world games. There are even times, I will admit, there are even times in Xenoblade where I'll be, walking down a pathway in a really big open landscape, and I kind of wish to myself, I wish I could just climb up and explore on my own without any limitations of the game. Because Breath of the Wild in that way spoiled you. I know there's a lot of controversy about the weapons, and then they're degrading or whatever it's called, but I thought it was a very unique concept to really encourage players to not fall in love with a single weapon and continually having a rotating arsenal. Again, I have talked about this at length in multiple videos, so I don't want to go too much into it here, but Breath of the Wild left such an impact on me, and it is one of those games that we'll be talking about for probably decades to come. It is, to me, it is a landmark in Nintendo's history of games. It really paving the way for this brand new era of Switch games. I've said it 1,000 times, everyone else has said it 1,000 times, and I'm sure most of you have played it already. But it is definitely a game that everyone needs to play. It's that good. It's just that good. And the thing is, the reason I know it's that good, if I go back and rewatch a Zelda trailer, I get freaking goosebumps. I'm getting them now, just like talking about the freaking trailers. Like if I go back and watch an Odyssey trailer, or any of the other previously mentioned games, I mean, I still have fun and I enjoy it, or in the music, or I see the references into the game that I already played. But like Zelda, which I've already put in well over 100 hours into, I just watch a trailer of stuff I've definitely already seen before. And it's just up and down my body, just every hit. Oh my god, every time I even mention it. It's just that good. Like, it's enough said. I've said it too many times. You can watch the other videos. But what do you guys think about my list? Put your top lists in the comments below, where I definitely won't read them. I'm sure most of you played these games, and if you haven't, they're definitely all worth checking out. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for giving them all the likes that you gave it. All 7 likes. I appreciate that. Be sure to watch this video again to add the retention time. Maybe put it in another tab and just like loop it or something like that. You know, helps me out, man. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe. We have fun over here. Nintendo Switch stuff, usually. Look forward to this, baby, video with Neek and I. We're gonna play this, and yeah. Thanks again, guys, so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.